Hello and welcome back to the Common Colt Podcast, a Colts podcast with real takes and no clickbait. I'm Josh Hudgens, joined by Dan Hertzler. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Hey, man, we're going to play off a little bit of a Marvel theme. I don't know if you got many Marvel fans out there, but they did this series called What If. It's kind of a change in the timeline to see, something different about one of your favorite characters. We're going to do a What If on the Indianapolis Colts, and what if they don't take a quarterback with their very first pick? What if they just shock the world and decide to go not a quarterback, or maybe their quarterback they want's not there? Josh, what's your kind of crazy what if the Colts don't take a quarterback?
Well, unlike Marvel, sometimes you have to subscribe to Disney Plus and all that stuff to watch those movies. You can subscribe to the Common Colt Podcast for free and help us get to 1,000 subs because we're super close. So
it's smooth, man. That was smooth,
baby. So
smooth,
now listen to this. Here's my what if, and honestly, I hope this doesn't happen, but let's be real. The draft is crazy and people can trade up, or the Colts could fall in love with a guy and that guy could get snatched up, or they just say, hey, you know what? We don't like the value of number 4 for any of these guys, and we're gonna do something different here. So in my eyes, my what if the Colts don't get a quarterback in the top 5 would be the Colts trading DeForest Buckner and getting the most value possible out of him. And you got to remember that. Maybe a second-round pick this year, and hold that thought. So what you're doing is you're trading him a little early. He's still got 2 years left on his contract, and he's still a high performer on the team. But maybe you can get, the dream would be if you don't get the quarterback, you get Jalen Carter or somebody fall into you and immediately replace DeForest Buckner. Him or one of those edge guys would be a really nice pickup there. But you've traded Buckner. You kind of sit around, you're watching. We've seen teams do this in the past, like the Ravens, I believe it was, traded back into the draft for Lamar Jackson kind of at the end. Yeah. The Colts trade back into the first round. They get a guy like a Will Levis or an Anthony Richardson if they fall. I'm a C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young guy, but if Will Levis or Anthony Richardson fall in the draft, or they're in the teens kind of around there, then I think I like that value a little bit more, and I think you can trade back in and get one of those guys then. I don't think the Colts can leave this draft without getting a quarterback in the first round, though. I just don't see it.
Interesting. So you're kind of going the Bill Belichick route, where he would trade some of his better players a year early and get as much value as he can, and then use that to use capital to get the car. Interesting. I like that. Hey, again, we'd love for your comments in the comment section to kind of what are your what ifs. My big what ifs is if you can't get the quarterback, you get the guys that try to rush the quarterback. Yeah. Okay, that's the way the NFL works. You get the quarterback, and then you get the guys that try to tackle the quarterback. So I'm all in on edge. If a Will Anderson's there, the kid Wilson out of Texas Tech, those two guys look like absolute studs coming off the edge. Huge dudes, huge reaches, fast. They're going to cause all sorts of problems. You grab one of those guys, and then I'm trusting that our new head coach, who just came from Philadelphia, who didn't have a first-round quarterback, Jalen Hurts, second-round pick, led his team to the Super Bowl. He knows how to find a quarterback that maybe others don't see. And you mentioned 4 big quarterbacks. I think that's the top 4. Then there seems to be a big drop after those 4. There's a kid out of Stanford. There's the kid Hooker out of Tennessee. Yeah. There's they talked about the kid from TCU. We saw him, Duggar, I think his name is. Yeah. There's Purdue. There's a few guys out there that they're projected 3rd, 4th, 5th round. Nothing great, but maybe there's that guy that he sees and says, you know what? He's going to be a real stud, because, hey, no one thought Jalen Hurts coming out of Oklahoma was going to be this kind of good quarterback, and here he is. He's doing it. So I'm going to get that edge, and then I'm looking at my head coach, and I'm saying, hey, work your magic, find that guy, and we're going to go with that. I'm with you, though. I think, I want that top quarterback, but you got to be realistic. Maybe the price is too high to trade up. Maybe someone else takes them. You got to play out these what if scenarios. So I'd love to hear what Coach Colts Nation has to say about the what ifs.
It's fun. It's a fun topic to have. And how much do you think Irsay meddled quite a bit? The reports were true. I mean, Chris Ballard pretty much confirmed it in his offseason pressers. Some of these decisions weren't his own. How much do you think he's going to meddle into this decision making of the draft and trying to make sure the Colts get their court? Do you think he's going to kind of force the issue and maybe kind of twist Ballard's arm to make a trade to make sure that this what if doesn't happen?
Yeah, I would put it pretty close to 85% sure that they're going to make a move to get the quarterback. I think, again, you look at history, Manning, Luck, top quarterbacks. So the Colts want to follow that tradition. But who knows what the Bears are doing? Who knows what Texans and some other teams are? And maybe they just get outbid. So you can't just go blindly into this thinking we're coming out with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud and end of story. Yeah. That's really silly right now. I think the Colts, we have to think, okay, what are some other scenarios? And to me, getting pressure on the quarterback is almost as important as who the quarterback is. And I think the Colts need to take that seriously.
Yeah, it's a big deal, and hey, we got a ways to go here before the draft, so it's going to be fun.
Oh, we're going to do some more what ifs, so stay with us on this because this is kind of where we get fun, and we're not going to try to get crazy with it. We're not doing some kind of video game stuff here, but we got to be realistic, and there are some what ifs out there we got to think about.
Yes. So hey guys, if you want to continue with us on this journey, make sure again to subscribe, comment what your what if is, and maybe give us some ideas on what other what ifs you'd like to see, and we might just make a video on it. Guys, I'm Josh Hudgens. That's Dan Hertzler, and until next time, thanks for watching the Common Colt Podcast.